Or good afternoon. Some feedback. Okay. Thank you for sharing the space and for taking the time to contemplate inner freedom, surrender, and what Rick was just talking about in terms of one consciousness. I began my own practice in 1978 when I was a sophomore in high school, and I was looking for something that had meaning. That initial frustration with the fragmented world that I experienced around me, with the lack of care, with the division, with the roughness, and with the disillusionment of the world. That time, our country was going through, the United States was going through a big disillusionment post-Watergate, very parallel to the time that this country is going through right now. What that does is it spurs us to look deeper. It calls us to look for that which has as its quality of existence inherent wholeness. It has as its quality of existence love, compassion, potential, and goodness. We experience that when we let go of our customary identification with self, and when we let go of our over-identification with thought and feeling, our over-identification with transient thought and feeling helps us cling to the notion of a separate self. When we immerse in stillness and silence, we let go of that which arises and passes away in our minds, in our bodies, in our feelings, in the world around us. We begin to discover that mysterious thread that is connected with everything from the beginning of time to the end of time, that which is infinite, that whose qualities seem to change every time we look and contemplate, ever fresh, always new, and yet somehow always the same. As captivating as a waterfall, every drop is different, always in motion, and yet one event. Taking the time like we're doing today to rest and surrender to that which is beyond the mind brings light into the world through all of our interactions that we can see and those that we can't see. So many people whose lives we've touched and whose lives have touched ours, we're connected. And as we fill ourselves with the light and goodness and positivity of that which has no beginning and no end, there is, in some way, some mysterious way that we can't quite touch and we can't quite quantify, a ripple effect. When tragedy strikes, like the fear and loss that just happened to our Dharma sisters and brothers in Portugal, they were the steadiness and love and gratitude and awe that comes from deep practice helps create some calm in the midst of chaos. Pete and Cynthia are very old friends of mine. I've probably known them since the early 90s, deep practitioners, very dedicated. And when they told me their story of escaping a wall of fire and moving 40 kilometers away, only to be surrounded by a wall of fire again and not knowing what was going to happen, they described feeling the gratitude and love that they were together, their friends and practitioners, because that space that we share beyond thought and beyond feeling, that space of immersion and surrender to the mystery of all that is, it gives us a kind of heart and love and gratitude in the face of fear and challenge that is untouchable. If our world needs anything right now, it needs that. And if we personally need anything in our lives, it's that. More of a sense of awe and wonder and surrender before the mystery that is. And that sense of connectedness and love and gratitude for sharing this contemplation. We seem to be in our own spaces, in our own bodies, in our own homes, in our own countries. But when we immerse in the stillness of surrender to that which is, we touch something that is both utterly unique in our own experience and utterly non-separate from each other's experience. The mystery of consciousness is that it's always fresh and always present. It has the capacity to help us see clearly and to see what is. It also has the capacity to provide us with a tremendous amount of love and care and appropriateness, so we don't overwhelm ourselves with grief or memory or sorrow at the tragedies of our own lives or the lives of people around us or the world. When we work to uplift culture and to change the institutions around us so that we live in a more sane and just and caring and creative and delightful world, we want to root ourselves in this joy and mystery of connectedness that has no beginning and has no end. That way, what we'll be focused on as our eyes look outward is the positivity, the small touches of love and care, the beauty of just the sunlight hitting a leaf in the middle of the inner city. Coming together in groups like this in an ongoing way has a momentum. It does something greater than any one of us, yet each one of us showing up and participating makes this flow real. It makes it manifest. People have come together over the ages to share collective immersion in consciousness, in the exploration of connectedness, in the discovery of the one heart. Last night I participated in a fundraiser of dance and meditation for a group of collective dance that has been going every Friday night for 49 years. It's a free form exploration of sound and free movement, connectedness and separateness, shape and discovery. The field that's been consistent for 49 years was so full of love and lightness of being in the middle of a neighborhood in West Philadelphia that I could feel the connectedness across the decades. Even some of those people had been there when they were in their 20s, and now they're in their 70s. This coming together in these kinds of collective explorations allows us to let go into an ongoing current of the human thirst for love and for making love manifest. And we make that love manifest by letting go, by allowing ourselves to let go beyond limit, allowing ourselves to let go beyond measure, beyond boundaries that we're drawing. The theme of this day is about surrendering and discovering that which is. And as we surrender our own individual letting go of what we already know, what we tap into is the current of human curiosity over decades, over centuries, over millennia. And in your meditations today, you may find that you're feeling currents across time that you can't quite locate. Allow yourself to be open and allow yourself to let go. Allow yourself to create a porousness in the inner realms of your soul so that goodness has room to grow, so that karmas have room to unravel, unknot, and resolve, so that joy and lightness has room to come into your being, so that the power of connectedness has the room to knit together any tattered and unraveled parts of our soul. And in this space today, let that surrender open up a life force for healing, for the world, for the environment. Let us allow for goodness that we can't picture to come forth. And let's allow ourselves to have no limit and no idea of how that goodness can come forth in ourselves. Knowing that sometimes the smallest action taken, the smallest shift of identification or posture can open a gateway towards extraordinary illumination and towards a ripple effect in the world that we could never have pictured. During the rest of the meditation, allow yourself to truly rest, to truly let go, to truly allow freedom now to pervade your being. Let go of the need for outcomes in the future. Let go of the need for any other experience. Let go of trying to grasp or hold on. Let go of sorrow and grief. Let go of incompletion and separation. Let go of resentments and regrets. Allow yourself to be, whether that being feels deep or light. Let it be enough. Let that sense of being be a portal to infinity. And let yourself experience the love that arises from that. As we begin to draw this part of the meditation to a close, find a way to keep your attention, your inner eye, on that mystery, on that vast expanse of consciousness that has no beginning and no end. So even as you prepare to shift your posture, let your inner roots remain deep and steady in that which is infinitely connected in all directions, that which is fueled and fed by love, that which is non-separate from a sea of compassion for all that is. Let your heart be open and light. Recognizing that blessings come in many forms, and that which seems to be from outside is also inside the innermost reaches of our hearts. May all beings experience freedom from fear, worry, and lack. May strife and discord unravel, and may there be balance and harmony and joy throughout the entire cosmos.
Thank you, Amy, and thank you, everyone. We'll return at the top of the hour, where we'll have a short lead-in to our next silent period.